For real, though.
I like, what's the top of your hat say on this one? Bulletproof?
Yeah.
Oh, big tough guy.
I'm bulletproof. I like the colors, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm like,
Fire away, fire away.
Joseph and I had a full conversation about that yesterday.
Yeah, for real.
We like those Brixton hats, but it's like the with the animals, but sometimes the statement doesn't really match your personality. So then it's like, you're like, so I told him my hack is I put a pin over the statement.
Oh, got it.
I'll like press a pin into my hat and cover the word.
Do you want to tell him about the hat that you bought?
Yeah,
the one with, the one with the rooster. With the rooster in it. It doesn't have an appropriate word over it, so I put a pin over it. Yeah. But then also I have another one where it says something else. I can't. Oh, I have a gorilla and it says boss.
Yeah. Oh,
and like since I literally am,
you are a boss.
Like so, it's like I'm not trying to like
flex.
Right? Is it a silverback?
Like
it is. I think
it's a silverback gorilla. So, Heron got it for me as a gift, and so he got it just because of the gorilla, not because of the boss statement.
Right. But it worked.
No, I think
double
that's
entendre.
But that's a little. That's too much. So then I cover the boss word with a pin.
Yeah, I think he's exercising.
I saw the silver.
That's like too.
I saw the silverbacks in San Diego just recently for my daughter's third birthday, and that homie came. I know he came out. He posed. He was chilling. We talked. We dapped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his cousin.
I have a
horchata. It was horchata.
Exactly.
Horchata is homie.
Yeah, he's next to Chula Vista, so it's definitely more horchata than anything.
For some reason, he had a sombrero on. It's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I have a silverback tattoo on my forearm, and everybody always thinks it's like in dedication to Harambe.
Yeah,
who that gorilla who died at the zoo?
That's definitely not. Sad story.
I know.
Yeah,
that is a sad story, and I'm like, no, that's not who it's dedicated towards. It's like everyone seems to always like the gorilla, you know.
Yeah,
for real, they were wilding out for that gorilla.
Yeah, dude. They get, yeah. But everybody, welcome to Beyond the Letter.
Listen,
and
what you're wearing is probably going to get sold out, but you want to tell them what?
Honestly, I don't know where we're at in the release schedule right now. Oh, I don't.
But it's probably going to get reordered.
This was the sample. I actually need I need one of our updated ones. But we'll reorder them around Easter with a different colorway. But yeah, we got the Patria knitted sweater. People thought it was like a biker jacket.
It did look like a biker jacket. It's like
everybody
like a cardigan almost.
It's a cardigan. It's literally like a little knit sweater. Yeah. So it's super like thin.
Maybe because the shoulders, like the way the
pads. Yeah, it's got a rock it's got a motorcycle biker.
Yeah.
And because I'm sitting, it kind of sits that a little more. This was the sample that I made, so
that's dope.
I think we made it in orange and black, and so by this comes out, Patriot Conference is well done and over, and so probably sold out. I could guess
it will be sold out for sure.
Yeah. But welcome everybody to Beyond the Letter. We got some, believe it or not, it's probably, now that I'm looking at it, I'm surveying, this is going to be the Latino episode. Look at that.
Not just Latino, the Puerto Rican.
Wait, hold on. It's 3 Puerto Ricans versus 1 Spaniard Mexican.
But I'm Puerto Rican Mexican too. I got both.
So it's kind of even
you're
out.
Puerto Rican?
It's even out.
I'm Chicano,
so I'm a quarter Spaniard and a quarter Mexican.
And then we're both half white, so we're bringing the nations in together.
Look at this.
Come on.
Look at this.
You
100% Puerto Rican?
Yeah, full-blooded.
Fuego?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Joseph, 100%?
No, I got Italian, English, Irish.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait.
He's the nation's too.
I'm a mutt.
Yeah.
I'm a mutt. I can barely claim Puerto Rican.
Mom's white or dad's white?
Mom's white. My dad is 100%.
Oh,
hey, your
so
son
you're 50.
Hey, your son was
okay,
I'm
but
100%.
you would think that, but when you take like Ancestry.com,
but
everybody's DNA.
Everyone's DNA is different.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
What percentage of Puerto Rican are you, according to Ancestry.com?
Man, it's been a minute, but I remember not being very.
Well, the thing is,
very
with
high.
Ancestry or 23andMe, it traces back to like the origins. So a lot will even trace back to the origins in like out of Spain. And stuff like that.
You get some of that if it's conquistador stuff. Yeah, for sure.
And then you'll get like the natives of the land. So there's all that.
Yeah, like someone who doesn't have recent Spanish descent could take one and it says whatever 10%,
and then you could claim
European or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
I
claim all of it as it benefits me.
Yeah, there you go.
That's depending on who you're talking with.
I'm ambidextrous.
Your son was like, "Yo,
identify
you're
as
Puerto
whatever I
Rican.
want.
Me too. I'm a little Puerto Rican. I'm a little Italian.
That boy white.
Yeah, bro. So I was like, yeah, bro.
He got some little surfer,
he
surfer
quartered.
look and everything.
You know, of all the things
quartered.
I am, the Puerto Ricans are most proud. I have to say
There you
that.
go.
That's true.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
most proud of who we
for
are.
sure.
So.
They're
Yeah.
repping.
We got the Super Bowl too.
Well-
people are not.
Yeah.
People are excited about it. No one's controversial over the Super Bowl either. Halftime.
Yeah, for sure. That's not controversial at all. But we do, man. We got some exciting people at the table. We got Fuego in the house, who's been on before. Definitely not a stranger to Beyond I Do. So we got Fuego. He's joining us today in the house. He's in town. We got conference this weekend, and so he happens to be in the area. And then we got a new person on the squad of our church at Patria, Joseph, in the house.
Let's go.
So we thought, man, let's
throw him in.
Let's throw Joseph in.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah.
See what he's got. We didn't give him. He sits down right now and he says, "So what's the rules?" We said, "Talk into the microphone." That's the rules.
He likes the mic, the sound down. If you're watching it on video, he might hold the mic just his singer passed. So it's just we don't.
But don't feel bad if you say nothing this episode, Joseph, because most people, their first time, they feel like it moves very fast.
Yep.
And then they just like, I didn't know when to get in. So just get in when you're ready to get in.
Okay.
You know, it just
Where you fit in.
Merge into traffic at every available opportunity. Because if you don't, me and Sammy will fill the space.
We'll be rolling. We'll be rolling.
Okay.
We'll fill the space with conversation.
For
Is
sure.
what no one's going to invite you in.
Yeah, that's true.
You just gotta.
Yeah.
You just gotta jump in on it. You know. Well, we got an episode today. Sammy said he wanted to talk about something, so I was like, you know what? All right, man. Sammy's got this Beyond the Letter on lock. You know, he knows how to get in on it.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead, Sammy. Introduce.
You want me to introduce?
No. Well, what's our thought? What's the thought? You
So-
pitching? You know.
My thought again, and there's people on both sides to it. Now, this isn't in any way an attack on something. Again, we're always curious and wanting to conversate when stuff is happening in our culture.
Yeah.
So,
especially as people of faith.
exactly.
Well,
It's-
and let me just add too, as you
Yeah,
qualify, the purpose of the podcast is we've always wanted space where what would you talk about with your friend over lunch?
Yeah.
You know, what hey man, you see what's going on with this, and then as people of faith, your faith would be the background, not that your faith is behind something, but it's always in the background of conversations that you have, and what you lead with is like, you know, well, I'm a believer first. So what do I think about what's happening at Target? Well, let me tell you as a Christian what I think I'm at, you know, it's all that kind of stuff. So right now, even in the Christian sphere, there is a big conversation billowing up just within this past week. Go ahead and tap into it.
So again, this is around Forrest Frank, who's exploding, and we can all say
biggest Christian artist in the world.
over like passing Drake,
Surpassed Drake on YouTube streams.
Which is
like,
crazy.
That's how
And
big.
according to Pastor Aaron, the best rapper
Let's
who has
go.
ever lived.
the best rappers,
He's the
right? Look,
GOAT.
we got one right here. So we got
come
bar
on,
for
you two
bar.
guys.
Come on,
Let's go.
No, but again, we all love him here, and we love the influence he's doing. But he posted a video, which we'll show in a second, about him not wanting to be a part of the Dove Awards anymore. And then really I want to discuss that. Now, even again, for our conference here at Patria, it's Lost and Found is the theme.
Yeah.
At Patria, our vision is to seek the lost, teach, found, send disciples. Now, if you know me, and most of us at the table, we really want to see people saved. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not prefacing that Forrest doesn't want to see those things, but I want to kind of hear what he's saying and then talk about it, because in some ways, in what he says, it can force people to say, well, if I don't align with you, Forrest, then I'm choosing something wrong. But at the same time, I feel like he's in a journey and in process. And again, we love Forrest, and he's welcomed. I mean, he's massive, but he's welcome to come hang here, talk with us, kind of share his perspective. Like, always welcome to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that he
and
would.
one of our good friends is his pastor. It's not short that one day he couldn't jump on.
Yep.
But it seems like Forrest is feeling some type of responsibility to lead a generation of people with perspective, because he could have easily and he has great pastors in his life, like some of the most wise counsel in his life. Like when we had our interview with Miles, it was cool. Miles Minnick. It was cool to see his pastor Andrew with us.
Yeah.
To say, hey, Miles has a pastor.
Yeah.
Well, I know personally Forrest's pastor,
Totally.
and he's to me one of the most incredible pastors that there is, and so he has good wisdom. So if he's putting something online,
For sure.
he said, like some people of our generations, they just be throwing stuff online.
Yep.
You're like, man, they didn't think about that. They're gonna regret that. I don't think he's gonna regret the stuff he posts, even when it gets negative traction. And
Totally.
some of the recent things, Forrest has done, which is controversial, is, he, his back. He broke his back, and then
Got supernaturally
he
healed,
got
which is
supernaturally
epic.
healed.
It's crazy.
And then Corey Asbury, famous worship leader, kind of
Yeah.
made fun of it, made like a satire. Forrest publicly rebuked him, and said, "I didn't appreciate that." They reconciled on a podcast with Ruslan. Well, before that, and then went on a podcast with Ruslan,
Which is also cool to see. You know? Like,
it's cool to see.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then he lost. He came out in support for Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
And he
Lost
lost 30,000
followers. Yep.
followers. He
Yep.
basically did a video and said,
I lost followers. Good.
I lost good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're
Unfollow
mad-
me.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so then lost a lot of minority followers at
Yep.
that point.
Yep.
And this is all happening
Yeah.
within like 45 days.
It is.
And so
It's a lot. And I think also with it is, so especially if you look at from biblical times or just historically, the center of town is like the court of opinion, right? Like that's where life was going on. You would discuss, again, we talked about this before, and how many times you think of Rome and the Roman Empire, and you think of like their discussion of what's going on in the world that makes decisions. Well, that court of opinion in many ways is social media and platform, right? So as he's processing through the world, and I love it because he's on a journey and he's just sharing his convictions, it's something that is out in the world. So that's what I wanted to discuss, is that maybe there's other ways to be able to see it. So I want to play the clip, and then we could discuss some of those things.
Well, yeah, and let me say this. I only say what I said about the controversial things because everything seems to be very conscious, is what I'm pointing out. Like he's not. I don't think he's like being led by his emotions. I think he is. I think he's made a decision or understanding that he's like a spiritual voice.
For sure.
And the things he's putting online are not by happenstance. He is doing these things on purpose, which is good to what we're going to conversate to then talk about not all the things he's done. I'm not going to go into, we're not going to go into his Corey Asbury thing or him telling people, fine, unfollow me. More so about this situation, because this is actually bubbled up. I mean, he's got secular artists in his comments. Jelly Roll is in his comments.
Jelly Roll comment. Did you see what he said?
Yeah, I did, which we'll talk about.
We will.
It's his response long. I only saw the first 20 seconds.
His response
Not
is
his
about
response, but his
his statement's about a minute or so.
Yeah, let's hear the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree.
As Christians, it's hard to know where the line in the sand is between being in the world and not of the world. And as a Christian artist, I dress kind of like the world. I kind of look like the world. My music can kind of sound like the world. So where's the line in the sand drawn? And I'm convicted personally that a line that I can draw is that I will not receive a trophy for something that is from Jesus and for Jesus. And I was wrestling with this last year. I even said that on stage at the Dove Awards. I said, I'm still struggling with the concept of receiving this award, but all glory to Jesus. Every name will fade away, including mine, except for one name. But I feel a conviction to go even a step further and say, I don't know if I even want to step on the stage. I don't know if I want to step in the room. And so I have decided to take a stance of non-participation. I will not be attending the Doves or the Grammys. I hope to be an example to the youth that the trophy is our salvation. The trophy is that my name is listed in the book of life and I get to have eternal life. What good is a piece of metal going to do
the whole
compared to that?
Inspirational music behind.
Oh, you cut it, but that's fine. So we
I never get used to this.
Andy rose his hand in the back.
I honestly,
Andy is not going to receive an award.
Andy's like, I'm so done with this. Take it off right now. Got nervous.
He gets perms, bro. You said he gets perms.
And no, Andy actually does. That's for another. That's from another moment. But again, please hear me. I love me some Forrest Frank.
Oh,
I love
it's
what
like
he's
all
doing.
I listen to with my kids.
Right?
Yeah.
But I want to
amazing.
talk about what that statement could be and some of the thoughts. So
I'm glad he's even opening up conversation.
For sure.
This isn't talked about.
Right.
You know?
And
so
I want to discuss
whether
some of
he's
those
doing
things.
it right or wrong, or we would do it differently.
Right.
He's bringing something up. You
Yep.
know? Yeah, for sure. And so for those who don't know, and I'm going to open the floor for Joseph or Fuego for raw thoughts, but for those who don't know, Dove Awards would be like the Christian Grammys. You know, so it's not Grammys, it's not secular, it's not like he didn't just say like I'm not going to receive an award from the Grammys.
No, he said Dove and Grammys. He's not going
to. That would make sense though.
Yeah,
you know, like if he said I'm not going to participate in the Grammys, I think the average person would be like, yeah, well, makes sense. You're you know, getting an award right after Doechii, who's naked, you know, like on set. Okay, we understand that.
Yeah,
he's talking about mainly he won an award last year with the Dove Awards.
Yeah.
And it's high likely he'll get a Grammy for his stuff.
But at the same time, that what I'm thinking, and keep going, but I'm like, again, this is my perspective, but I want to be light in the darkest places. So
well, now you're giving your perspective. I know. I'm just leading up to tell people what the Dove Awards is. It's a Christian, because one person would be like, yeah, we shouldn't have anything to do with the secular world,
right?
But they don't understand what the Dove Awards is. The Dove Awards is not. It's held in Nashville or whatever, which is like the gospel capital of the world and really music capital of the world.
Yep.
And then the Dove Awards is basically the you know, the Christians for many years felt like they weren't being recognized at Grammys, given a fair shake. They're only in one category altogether.
Yeah.
So then you have the Dove Awards, which is separated, right? Christian hip hop, Christian gospel, you know, Christian country, CCM, and then every category, just like Grammys, but with Christendom, gets an award. So it's
super dope.
It's a pretty big event, and it's a big deal,
and it's growing even more. Like that's it's as they started off.
Christian music is getting really good now.
It is,
you know?
And they didn't even have hip hop on there before, so it's constantly progressing. Dove Awards, it's got better and better.
Yeah, well, it was you know,
it
was white before. So.
Yeah, for sure. That's why it was Dove. You know, like the soap, Dove soap. You know, now their hearts getting clean. You feel me?
Exactly. Well, you guys got any raw thoughts?
Yeah, you know. So I'm a kind of a deep thinker. In fact, I had a professor one time tell me, like, do you stay up at night thinking of these questions? I'm like, oh man. So, but
like, am I not supposed to?
Right. So, but I think a few things. I think one, I think I like what he's doing because he's opening up conversation. Like you said, I think that I like his stance. I like the question, like, should we be receiving awards? What does that look like? What does that communicate? I think too, though, like as much as maybe I might like his position, I think it's hard when you take somebody's positions or thought, and now it's like now everybody has to follow this. Like, no, I think that's maybe more of a matter of his conscience, a matter of his faith journey, a matter of his. And so I don't think everybody should feel under the pressure. Like we have to be just like Forrest Frank. We have to take his position, his side, which is maybe another one of my beefs with our culture is like. I just felt like all this reaction, all this, you know, pressure to be, I think they call it tribalism, like take a side. And some of that I just find like for me with this, I'm like, I don't know if I know enough about the Dove Awards to like fully land on a position myself. And I've realized that the faster I am.
Well, what questions do you have about the Dove Awards?
Yeah, what do you have?
Let's provide answers.
Like, who's behind it? How did it get started?
Next.
What are
the Dove?
You know? I don't.
The Apostle Paul is behind
He's
it.
the one
He
running
founded
it.
Yeah. Again, you didn't hear what he said about the Dove Awards? He explained it to you.
No, I mean I know generally speaking, but I don't know how it got started.
It's a Christian award, so basically started. It not in competition, but in recognition to Christian artists who they felt were being under-recognized in the mainstream music industry. And so it's, you know, fully Christian performances. I don't know what profit is behind it, right, on that, but fully Christian performance. Only Christians go to it. I mean, relatively speaking,
so I think
right?
Maybe my point is just that what I found is the faster I am to react to something, the more likely I am to get it wrong. And side on the wrong.
Did you know about this prior to right now?
I had just heard that he made a statement about Dove, but I didn't know what it was. Or...
You thought it was a person? Who's Dove?
I know what the Dove Awards are. I just don't know enough about it.
What do you think? What do you think, Fuego?
For what he was saying, I like
as a musician yourself, a rapper yourself.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Well,
can you rap it? Can you rap your thoughts?
I was just.
Let me tell you a story about how.
This is a story all about how Forrest Frank
his life got flipped. There
you go. Come on,
like
Fresh
to take
Prince.
a minute, just sit right there.
Well, when he said it was his own conviction, so I think I know. I don't try to put my own convictions that God is speaking to me on other people. So I think him doing that out loud, it kind of reminded me of what that one person was, Isa. I think it's like a person who's kind of like transitioning. They're kind of doing their story.
Oh,
Niza or something like that? Niza, right?
Yeah,
Niza,
you're talking about the person detransitioning?
Yeah, so like they're doing their life kind of like out, they're kind of going through that process.
Yes.
So he's kind of, in a sense, like his processing kind of like, not out loud. Of course, he has pastors and things like that, but I feel like he's kind of just doesn't know. He's like, I'm still trying to, I'm wrestling with this thought.
Oh, you think
like,
so?
Yeah, like.
You think he's still wrestling with it?
Yeah, because he said it. He's like, I'm wrestling with this thought of like, should I receive the award? Should I not? Or whatnot? So I'm like, okay. And then he said the Dove and the Grammys. So he's like, yo, if I don't receive this one on the Dove Award, I'm not going to receive the one on the Grammys. So I'm wondering if we could hold him to that, like when the Grammys does come around. And he does, like if he's just going to pull up. But which I kind of respect that, right, in a sense, where he's like, yo, this is my conviction right now. I'm not going to receive the award from the Dove Awards or Grammy Awards. This is I'm kind of wrestling with the fact of receiving awards for doing things who I'm trying to give glory to the one who deserves the award. So that's what I'm just thinking.
Yeah. What I'm processing, I'll give my opinion.
Okay. I can tell Sammy's ready to unload. He's got it.
No, I love
he's
Forrest.
got feelings. He's got feelings.
I'm Puerto Rican. I got
I'll
feelings.
give my opinion after Sammy, but I'll give first what I probably would do with let's just say I was pastoring Forrest, and because I don't even know if he talked to his pastor about this. He has very great relationship with his pastor, but he may not ran it by him and just posted this,
Yeah.
I'm sure Forrest has great community, and I know he's involved in a local church, but let's just say Forrest came to me, and I've had the opportunity to work with professional athletes, celebrities, stuff, talking about their faith and how it deals with their life. So let's say Forrest comes to me and goes, hey, this is the way I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking about posting. One of my first things I would tell him is, number one, Forrest, I think it's great that you're processing this, feeling this way. I think more people need to, think the way that you're thinking, question everything that they do, the motives behind why they do it, what they do, all that kind of stuff like that. First thing I would tell him is you're a public figure. You're a spiritual voice in people's lives.
That's it.
So processing out loud with impressionable people is only going to cause more people to create fractions, which is kind of what Joseph had just nuanced. Like it can be divisive, right? It's disunifying.
Yeah.
Because now you're not leading people with wisdom. You're processing out loud.
Yeah.
And to even say you're wrestling with something invites individuals to immediately start to be critical towards you.
Yeah.
Critical towards your conviction because you're undecided.
Yeah.
And I don't project, as me being a spiritual leader, I don't unless I feel like it's a topic I have to address, and I go, hey guys, this is where I'm at on it. But other than that, like, I'm not bringing to my sons. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. I'm not bringing to my sons things I'm unsure with.
Yep.
I don't want them to be like, dude, do I trust Dad? There's so many times my sons have asked me questions that I was unsure about, or even about, us doing something. Hey, Dad, am I going to be safe with it? I'm like, yes, but in my head, I'm like, I don't know. I'm waiting, but I'm not going to tell my son. Hey, son, I don't know. Because now it's going to cause more fear in him. It's gonna. I think prior to his statement, Joseph probably would have not have thought Dove Awards was sketchy. But the moment you hear an influencer now say, hey, I don't think I want to participate.
Yeah.
Now you all of a sudden go, well, what's wrong with it? You know, like, so now you start kind of looking more into like, well, did I miss something? Is there something sketchy about these awards? Is it, you know, like now it's inviting this like scrutiny. And if the scrutiny needs to be there, if there's something wrong with the Christian music industry, because I hear that, right? You have Maverick City's whole thing right now, lawsuit going on.
Sure.
So it's like if there is something going on in the Christian music industry that is corrupt, is ungodly, then people just need to expose that. Just say it.
And it is being exposed, all these different things.
So just say it though.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not saying that Forrest is nuancing that.
Yeah.
But if it is, then just say it. Just be
it
like,
sparks
hey,
that's what you're saying, right? It can spark that like curiosity.
Because now we don't know is it a conviction
Right.
or have you seen how the sausage is made?
Right.
And you don't want to participate in it.
Yeah.
Later. So it's like bring clarity because you have a generation of young people that are looking to it. And if it's about the trophy, then maybe it is about the trophy to him.
Right.
It is but if it's about when Maverick and all these other individuals are doing, I think Chandler Moore just had an interview with Carl Lentz, and he said, you know, he doesn't even look at his Grammys because it represents an unhealthy season in his life. Even like he said more about the music industry and stuff like that. And people are like, oh, see, the gospel industry is really dirty and corrupt and blah, blah. But it's like, it's speculation. If individuals know what's ungodly and not happening, then tell us.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's not everybody, and that's what's hard is like if you have
you have the industry, right? It's like
Exactly.
the Catholic Church, right? It's like I don't respect the Pope, but there are Catholics who are pursuing
100%.
like I don't love the government of the of the Catholic Church,
Right.
But the individuals,
Right.
like there are many people who are like pursuing God and
100%.
wanting a relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
So in the same regard, with the industry is different from the individuals.
100%. And I think in the same way you think of you might have a bad doctor or lawyer or barista, whatever you want to categorize that, but we don't write everybody off.
Right, we don't throw the
And
baby
so-
out with the bathwater.
And so what happens a lot of times in church where they have a bad experience with the pastor, they write church off. In the same way, we're doing the same thing. So some of my thoughts, again, these are raw thoughts in processing, but I've processed it and I do have strong conviction. I'll just say that.
I'm processing, but I process.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
wrestling, but I'm
So I'm open to being wrong. But at the same time, so one, again, I love Forrest, but I'll use this as an example. So LeBron James just posted like a few days ago about his second decision. If you know basketball or sports at all, his first decision, which was heavily criticized, was him moving from Cleveland and taking his talents to Miami. So everybody thought that this was his farewell season, which it might be, right? When he posted that small clip to his Instagram, the final game, which the highest ticket or the lowest ticket sale or whatever, I think it was lowest, was $82 against the Jazz, okay? When he posted that, the lowest ticket you could find was $850.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay? Then he posts the next day.
To what?
So LeBron James said, my final decision, second decision, whatever. Then his final game, because they thought it was going to be his final game, they want to be in the room. So against the Jazz in April, right, it's $850 in the nosebleeds. The next day he posts his decision, which was a collaboration with Hennessy, right, with a drink. And so that's all it was. So people are frustrated, and he's a genius with his marketing, again, and his team. And it probably is this for, what do I mean by that? When you post certain things, there is power in our influence. Yeah. And so when you're posting something, you look at how much it swayed business, and look how much it swayed everything. Right. So in the same way with Forrest, my only thing with this is a few things. I would say, one, why post it? Why not just don't show up? Two, the second would be when you say you're only like, this is for God, this isn't for me, or like this isn't me, like you're saying you could idolize it. Essentially, the argument that he's making without is, I'm not going to take it because I want this only to be for God. So then everyone else attending, you're like, well, why can't you be like Forrest? Obviously, you might be idolizing. Yeah. So for the immature people,
and
now,
you can say all day long, this is my personal conviction, but then when you immediately say my personal conviction is if you receive a trophy, you're taking eyes off Jesus. Well, then to anyone who considers you an influence in their life, they're going to go, well, then, and then you name them. Mm-hmm. You name them. Any other person who goes to that award show, right? That they're clearly somehow self-obsessed. 100%. Like that's what it leads an impressionable.
Right. Yeah. So you're saying that conversation could have probably happened in closed doors.
Well, what I would have said if I was advising Forrest and he was asking me advice, I would say, hey, man, I love this. I think, I don't know when the Dove Awards are. I don't know if he feels like
it already happened.
They happened already.
The Dove Awards. Were people asking where he was or something?
I think it was right before it was going on, and so he probably posted it a day.
It had just happened this week, though.
Yeah, so I think he had posted that before potentially.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, that's what's odd. So what I would have said, hey, bro, I think maybe after the awards show, give us some time, and then just do a post and say, hey, just for any of those who had asked why I wasn't at the Dove Awards, right now the Lord has placed a conviction on my heart right now that my platform has grown. I mean, he's the biggest voice in the Christian space musically, right? Yep. So I would just say, my conviction right now is that as my platform has grown, I want to make sure that I'm doing all of this for Jesus. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in my own life, these trophies and these awards maybe would be stumbling blocks for me. Mm-hmm. And so that's why in this season, I'm not going to attend. Because also it's like, bro, don't say permanently. Because because what's going to happen is
we're going to clip that. And in 5 years when he's back to Grammys and the Dove.
And then he has this view now that like, oh, I'm giving glory to Christ. I'm using my platform to point to Jesus.
So they're going to be like, a light in the dark world.
Yeah, so exactly. It's like, dude, that's dangerous to speak in terms of like,
goes back, it's going to be like, oh, you got exactly. And then
there's going to be young people who are like, what?
Yeah,
I was riding with you.
Right.
And
I think the other thing is like with that is, I'd want him in the Dove Awards. I want him in the Grammy Awards because we need light and salt in these places, right?
Yeah. Well, I fully agree about that. Even if whatever's going on,
and there's negative in the industry, in music industry, and contemporary Christian. There's
throw
for
the
sure.
award away.
Yeah.
If it don't mean anything, gift it. But then, give it to your wife.
But then give
it to your child. If it don't mean nothing, just give it away.
Give it to a local artist or something like that. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey man, here's my Grammy. Here's my Dove Award.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
Go to his church.
The other argument is, and what Jelly Roll posted, which I think was good, is, and some of the things I was thinking of is, okay, you don't want to receive an award. Yeah. Are we receiving the finances from our merch tickets, our merch sales? Are we receiving the finances from our ticket sales and concert? Are we receiving any finances from all the other things that we're doing? We could just as easily idolize that versus an award. Right?
For sure.
Where do we draw the line on that? And I've seen people in the comments say, there's one thing about provision and another thing about idolatry.
Receiving awards and I'm
trophies. And then the last thing I'll say, and then
because the whole argument is idolization.
Exactly. So
it's not actual trophies.
Right.
And
then in the idolization, the last thing I would say is he said something specific where he's like, these are for God, from God. But I think sometimes we so heavily play like if you've ever preached a good message, got off the stage, someone said, that was so great. And you're like, it wasn't me. It was the Lord. And you're like, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, for real. It wasn't that good.
It wasn't that. So what I'm saying with that is like, yes, God has given it to us, but we do co-labor. And so it
was the best worst of this year. That's what it was,
But do you know what I'm saying? So
anyway. I know what you're saying.
It's kind of bringing attention to yourself too, though. Anyway, with like when you're saying,
he's inviting a microscope. For sure.
Like I'm trying to bring glory to God, but you're saying it publicly, giving glory to yourself about you trying to give it to God. Does that make sense?
Well, I think that could be the perception of it for sure. Man. I think that's the danger in it, which is what I would be advising him. Because the thing is, I'm not in Forrest's shoes, right? I don't have millions of followers on Instagram. Right. I don't have the number. I mean, I'm at a mall in Orange County and they're playing. I heard 3 of his songs in less than an hour.
Yep.
I'm like, in what other era did we hear like genuine Christian, not the stuff 20 years ago, like the hidden POD stuff or the Creed stuff that's like hidden nuanced or the Killers hidden nuanced Christian stuff. This is like overtly, it's overtly Christian. When in any era have we heard in so many secular. I mean, I'm in a coffee shop that's not Christian owned. It's going from Drake to Forrest Frank. What other
dope.
artists with that as many songs?
Like all of them are hits.
Right. So
all of them.
Number one, I acknowledge if I was advising and pastoring number one, I acknowledge anything I can give you is advice. It is not experience.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't have experiential advice.
Yeah, good,
I'm not hearing the Spirit in your case. I could pray with you. I could pray for you, but you're hearing from God. I can't go hear for God from you. I can only advise you like a prophet to a king. I could say, hey, be weary that as you go public, because your music is Christian, not God, but people view you as a spiritual leader for God.
Yep. Yeah.
And so they're weighing, and now you're inviting, Jelly Roll's a baby Christian. So now you have Jelly Roll going, mixing finances and trophy and all that stuff like that, which is a good question for a young believer to be asking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he even puts at the end of his comment, Jelly Roll puts, am I missing something? Is like,
he's asking
am I
the
wrong?
question.
Because to me, in his head, and in some ways, it is different, right? Going on a stage, receiving a trophy is different than you being an artisan and producing art and people consuming it on their own volition. In some ways, in most ways, it is very different. But it can be convoluted very quickly to where someone who is kind of new to this faith thing would be like, wait, this really doesn't make sense at the end of the day, right? Yeah. I'm trying to make this make sense. So now it's become kind of a stumbling block because now some people are going to be like, wow, Forrest, which number one, I love he is opening the conversation.
For sure.
I enjoy we're having this conversation, that we should be looking at all things, whether it's in the body of Christ, the actual local churches, to artisans and all these things of like, hey, what do we do what we do? Why do we do what we do? Is it okay to receive awards? Is it okay to receive quote unquote praise? Not worship praise, but like just pray, hey, great job, I love you, whatever. Like, is that okay? Or what's inappropriate, right? Because now you go into it, like to what Sammy said, there's a lot of slippery slopes of what glory is. And even because of this podcast and other stuff at our church, like, I had a DoorDash driver the other day ask for a selfie because he recognized who I was, and he was like, "Can I get a selfie with you?" He was like in his 50s or 60s.
Did you hold the food while you
yeah, right. No, I had it in my hands, and I was in a wife beater. I was in a tank top, and I'm like, man, is this going to go online or what?
Right.
He had like a face mask on. He was he was an Asian cat.
Yeah.
In his like 50s or 60s. And he's like, hey, you're that like really well known pastor guy. Man, can I get a selfie with you? Now again, like now that would cause me like, wow, should I have taken a selfie? Was he praising me? Was that not? Should I have said no? Only selfies with Jesus. Like
right.
So it should open conversation, but also slippery slopes start to come.
That's where it gets so much when we go too much to the side of like. No, it's that false humility. Now, I'm not saying that's where Forrest is.
No, right.
Forrest is in process, and I love it. And I love what you said.
He's processing true humility, but on a global platform.
Exactly. And I love what you said. We give him advice, not like we haven't experienced the favor he has, and we want him to keep going. But my whole thing is like we want his integrity to be in those spaces, and the award is not the idol. Having identity in our awards or giftings or whatever is what idolatry can be.
Right.
So can it become an idol? Yes. But getting one isn't an idol. And then to me, I just think like, Forrest, we want you in these spaces. Now, again, my outlook is I want to be with the broken and lost. I want to see, just like Daniel in the Bible, he said to Nebuchadnezzar, who was one of the worst people in the world, like incredibly horrible. He interprets his dream and says, I hope it's not that way for you.
Yeah,
that's such a crazy statement.
That is.
Right? But we're going to write off halftime shows. And I get it. We have all these different opinions, but we write off certain things, but we still drink our Starbucks. We write off certain things, but we still shop at our different places. So, like, are we going to go full, like, into, like, a compound and, like, grow food from the ground? And
monks.
Yeah, are we going to do
be monks?
And that's fine if we're going to do that. And I get that we want to draw the line. Yeah. But what I want to do is I want to represent Jesus to a generation. Yeah, I want to be in those spaces. And that's where I think a cool conversation between Forrest and even Miles Minnick could be, because Miles is on the other side.
Miles is like, I want to be the headliner of Grammys.
Miles did a song with he just did a song with E40. He did a song with Kick the Sneak. Like these big time guys who aren't saved, but like, he did a song with G-Eazy. Like, to me, I'm like, man, if you could be in it and not of it, and that's where, again, we could talk about in a second, the definition of world, when even he said, oh, look, I dress like the culture, I look like the culture, we misinterpret what it means when God says, be in the world but not of the world, kind of portion of it too.
So I have a personal story. So when I was in one of the colleges I attended, in order to graduate, you had to write this thesis. And then you had to actually defend it at the end. And so it was a year-long class. And I remember at the beginning, they're like, of this class, whoever writes the best thesis is going to get the thesis award. The moment they said that, all my performance, I come from a sports background, like I'm gonna win that thesis award. Yeah. But then throughout the class, and as I interacted with the professor, I think he may have picked up on some of that, because he knew I wanted to do a good job. And so at one point, he helped me reframe my thinking. And he was like, Joe, think of this paper as your contribution to the body of Christ. And the moment he said that, I realized, oh my gosh, there's such a higher calling than me winning this award. My studies, my efforts, my writing could actually benefit a church, a pastor, the body of Christ in an impactful way. And so that became my motivation. Yeah. Right? At the end of the year, I did win the award. Oh, did you? And I received the award. Yeah. But the motivation was totally different.
The award didn't have your heart.
Right. I think what I like about what he's doing is, like as we've already said, he's opening up the conversation, and maybe that conversation, like it's kind of like what place does award giving have in the body of Christ? But that conversation may also open up to some of these artists, like, why am I doing what I'm doing?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so we will never know the motivations of people's hearts, guys, right? Like, that won't be revealed until heaven. And it will be revealed, right? Eventually, which is like the fear of the Lord right there. But so I do like but then I also understand, like, his personal conviction should not be placed on everybody. Like, nobody should ever receive rewards. Any of this or all of it is all idolatry, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think part of it's in his language of it's one thing if it's saying, hey, this is a conviction of mine. Like I've said this on the podcast before, like I have a conviction against regularly listening to secular music, and majority of my friends, even many who are in ministry, listen to secular music. I don't, not in a daily. Yeah. I'm fine if it's in the background music. It doesn't bother. And someone recently, not too long ago, asked me, well, like, what does it do to you when you are listening to it? I said, well, I'm a mature believer. It doesn't do anything. But
my dance moves changed.
Yeah, I was like, but I said, but given enough frequency of it, it can affect particularly my anger is what it'll affect. And so for me,
1,000%.
I limit my intake of it, especially it's non-existent for the most part in my personal hand controls. Yeah. And if it is secular and I listen to it, there's parameters of what the lyrics can and can't be, right? So if it's background with anger, violence, any ostracizing someone else or something like that, it puts me into a framework where I start thinking about people that have upset me recently, and I kind of start making like a mental hit list, and so I have to, given enough frequency, I have to eliminate that from my ears.
Yep, turn into the beekeeper.
But yeah, exactly.
Getting there.
But I wouldn't go to like Sammy's house. Yeah. And he has something going on, and me go, brother, man, come outside. I got to talk to you. Dude, what are you doing listening to that, dude? What are you, because the moment I've done that, it's potentially I've started to step into legalism.
Yeah.
Potentially, I've just placed a judgment on Sammy that's not even there. Now, if all of a sudden, Sammy has some big character flaws or whatever, as a friend, I could be like, hey, bro, you might want to, maybe in some of the movies you're watching, the music you're listening to, you may want to reshape your intake. But at the time, I don't know that. I'm unaware of that. So why am I? Yeah. So I think part of the things that I'd be telling Forrest is like, number one, do that video when you've decided, not when you're wrestling with it still. And number two, focus it on you, not on the concept of trophies. Because the moment you make it around the concept of trophies, regardless of you saying this is my conviction or not, you've just placed the argument in the actual idea of it. And now we have to ask the question, okay, well, there's Allison Felix, the famous Christian Olympian. Should she not get the gold medal for running the race? Because awards. God made her legs. And her legs is for him.
Or like in the Bible verse, it's like you run the race, you finish the award, and like we're getting a heavenly award.
We're waiting for the upward call, the award of the upward call.
God's like, here's your heavenly award. Like, no, God, it's only for you. God's like, take the award.
And then Revelation says, can you take the crown, we give it back.
Yeah.
So it's in there but it's you receive it and you give it back to the Lord. Your crown with jewels and righteousness, and you say, Lord, I don't deserve this. This is for you. That is for you to personally give back to Christ, not publicly say, no, I don't receive it. And I know what God is giving us is different than an award that a human is giving. But at the end of the day, that is the slippery slope of like, well, if he's saying, well, these gifts, these talents are given by God, so it all the glory belongs back to God, then that means, and you're making it about the idea of it, and that means, Drew Brees, any Super Bowl ring he's won, he's a Christian, you give it back. Anyone who has any talent, quote unquote, and is a Christian, because he may be, I'd be like, if I was consulting, Forrest pastoring, I would say, hey, just because your lyrics are Christian, it's you as a person is a believer in Christ. And so you are, you got to make sure that you've been decided for you, that it's a you thing and not that it's a wrong thing. Because now philosophically, it opens up the table for anyone who will receive anything that would be a quote unquote trophy or award or a
they're not as serious about God.
They haven't.
They love God, but they're not as serious, because if they were serious, then they wouldn't have received this award.
And I think discipling through his music anyway, because I mean, Jelly Roll was asking the question like, hey,
and it's good, and it's not the same, and so as you explain it, but again, I would never want Jelly Roll to be like, man, see, that's why I can't do Christians, because I'm following Jesus, but this whole, like, this Christian loves me and wants me to be at the Devil Awards. This Christian is telling me that at some point I need to say no to this if I've grown to enough maturity. And so now there's all these stumbling blocks and there's all these divisive, and Forrest has a way bigger platform than any of us in this room, and so he has much more spiritual leading the influence than us at this current rate, and so that's why I'd be like, bro, like your statements are weighty, and what you should say is, hey, this is where I'm at, and then you should say, and I caution any other artist that if you are receiving awards as an accomplishment, kind of what Joseph said, if the award has your heart and you think that you've made it because you received a trophy, there is no greater trophy than what Christ gives us. There's no, like spiritually lead people in that direction, correct people, man. Speak to the unrighteousness potentially of something in that. Speak to the idolization of stuff. But don't say that, if you receive it, then it's an idol. And people will say, well, listen to him, he didn't really say that. Philosophically, he does say that, though. Even if he adds in, it's my conviction, right? Like, let's just say Fuego's about to take a brownie, and I'm like, dude, it's my conviction that anyone who eats brownies, you're killing yourself, dude. You're getting overweight, you're sugar, but it's my conviction. What Fuego gonna do? Like, he's gonna be like,
he's gonna either
Adam's
sneak the brownie or just like,
I don't want to cause my brother.
But I go, no, Fuego, please eat it, bro.
And
Eat it,
then
bro.
you're second
I mean,
guessing.
I think that people who eat sugar and sweets are giving themselves death and diabetes. But bro,
be free. Be free.
That's just my conviction. Yeah. It's like, no, it's another thing for me to say, hey man, I have had health issues. For me, you offer me, man. For me, I can't. I got to abstain from it right now because if I have one brownie, it's going to turn into 20, and it's not good for me. But bro, enjoy. Trust me, it's cool. And then all of a sudden, I see Fuego on his 10th, and maybe as a brother, I should take him outside and be like, hey, bro.
Right.
One was cool, but like
10 too much.
See, it's like that's a difference.
So I want to read you this portion. So it's a good friend of mine I grew up with who manages it with Bethel Music, a bunch of other artists, Brooke from previously with Hillsong, and Abby.
So
Gamola.
he's in the Christian music.
So
space.
he's in that. He's been in that space forever. Yeah. The reason I say it because I think what he said was great. It's a few words, and then we could discuss it. Now, again, he loves Forrest, right? And they're like he loves him, and it's not a call out for that, but it's just a conversation with it. So he said this. He said, "Are there weird moments at the Dove Awards? Sure. Just like there are messy moments in our churches, teams, families, because it's full of humans. But come on, an arena filled with believers and voices like CeCe Winans, Phil Wickham, Carrie Underwood, Josiah Queen, Brandon Lake, Torrin Wells, a bunch of other people, and more, all receiving awards and pointing to Jesus in front of thousands. That's not idolatry. That's a miracle. You can't condemn an award show while also cashing royalty, selling merch, ticket, shows, or posting about your new album for the same songs. How's a streaming check not a trophy? How's a CCLI payout not applause in another form? If a song is only for the Lord, don't upload it, don't post about it, don't monetize it. Keep it on a voice memo in your phone. But if you release it to the world, you've stepped into both ministry and marketplace. That's not compromise. That's stewardship. God doesn't call honor sin. He calls pride sin. My friend Nathan said it best. Award ceremonies can be idolatrous. They can also be pure, holy, and necessary in recognizing the hard work people do. God celebrates faithfulness. Paul didn't call honor idolatry. He wrote an honor roll in Romans 16, naming people who carried the work with him. Hebrews 11 tells a story, tells story after story of people God himself chose to highlight, not to glorify them, to glorify faithfulness. The goal was to reflect. This is the end. So yes, the Dove Awards are imperfect. So is a church. So are we. But imperfection doesn't make something idolatrous. It makes it human. And maybe the holiest thing we can do is learn how to give and receive honor without suspicion, cynicism, or shame.
Yeah.
I think that,
so again,
that's really well said.
Yeah, again, and I know this guy.
Man,
like
ChatGPT made that good.
I know, right?
Tell the truth. Tell the truth, Sammy.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, but I think he might have wrote it down and cleaned up.
No, again, I could tell if it's AI or not.
I know, pretty much because you're half robot. We've all talked about it.
We speak that language. I would know right away. Oh, my cousin's talking.
But again, I'm saying all this because I think what Forrest posted is so beautiful. I think his heart is none of this conversation is questioning his heart.
No,
his motive. I think he's in process, but it's
how people receive and what they do from there.
It's the weight of influence. Yeah. Another guy to highlight talked about LeBron James. So Giannis, he plays for the. I'm a big sports guy, but he plays for the Bucks. He really wants to win a championship. I think he's won one, and he said this: "I'm committed to the organization." This he said yesterday. He said, "But if I change my mind in 6 or 7 months, I'm just human." Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's what we talked about before. Because if you make this strong, staunch kind of argument, hey, I'm not receiving awards, and then you change it 5 years later, 6 years later, 7 years later, then people are like, wait, what does that mean? So I think there's more nuance into it. Again, never a question of his heart, never a question of his any motives, we won't know. But I think we need to recognize, man, I want people, again, and I want people in those spaces. I want them in the Dove Awards. I want them in the Grammys. I want them in the most broken places. William Booth from the Salvation Army. There's books about William and his wife, Catherine Booth, where it says England before and after William and Catherine Booth. Crazy. The human trafficking in England at the time was off the charts. The people getting drunk and all the crime and all this stuff. They're the ones who created Salvation Army. Salvation Army nowadays is a thrift store. Before, it was a whole revival in England. That's how much William and Catherine Booth changed the world. They would rent out bars. They were the OGs. They would choose the same tune as common bar songs, but then write new lyrics. people would be drawn in and getting saved by countless amount of people, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously not everyone has to do those things, but what I want to do is I want to rescue people from hell. And William Booth had this quote, I'm a butcher it, but he said, what I want to pray instead of sending people for 5 years to college or to like seminary, because during that time it's a whole nother perspective. He says, I hope people can be sent for 5 minutes to hell to have compassion of what it's like so that we could reach out towards the broken people. Now, me saying all that, I'm not saying that Forrest isn't saying those things, but what I want is someone like Forrest who has such integrity, such influence, such impact. Man, Forrest, we want you in those spaces so that when there is negative things happening in the Dove Awards, man, you could not even just confront
if you're the right guy that this stuff isn't going to get into your head, then
accept it, talk. And then be in the back room with those guys that are doing those things and talk to them and approach them, just like you did it with Corey Asbury. Say, hey, God's got a call over your life. And so I want him in those spaces. I don't want him not in those spaces.
Yeah, I think the moment you seclude out, some things need to be secluded out.
Right.
And that takes wisdom and discernment to decide that.
Yeah.
But also you can, there's been stuff I've been part of that I didn't necessarily agree, not sin, but I didn't agree with how things were run. But I would say, hey, I'm going to get in it. And I'm such a leader, I'm going to try to change it from within. And I'm going to give it a certain amount of time to try to change it from within, and then if I can't, then I'll step out. And so with someone with as much influence like Forrest, if I was pastoring him and I was advising him, I'd say, bro, I think you should engage it. And if you think there's anything wrong with the Dove Awards, you're only 30 years old. So you got another 20 some odd years
100%.
that you could shift
100%.
It yourself. And I know maybe it was him and Corey and stuff said they want to work on a family-friendly halftime show. And where hey, come stream us during the halftime show, so you don't have to see all the provocative stuff. And I thought to myself, it's a performance and all that stuff like that. But it's but in the same way that you're thinking of the halftime show, that you want to change the quote unquote culture. You could do that even in-house in the Christian church, in the body of Christ, rather. If you feel because it can't be just about the trophy. If you feel like there's something else, then man, go step in there and lead. Yeah. Start changing. You're a big enough voice.
And you never know if there's a person in there having that same burden within, though. In that dark place. But you come and you share that vision, and they're captivated by it, but they have that leverage of being able to have that Super Bowl platform, and you could do the family friendly
you could easily use these award show to expose new upcoming artists and grow the Christian music space, which is taken off by storm. I just think the next 5 years is going to be, it's the right time to have the conversation around awards and trophies and all that, because 10 years ago Christian music was the underdog.
Yeah.
It's not, and the
Someone
reason why
saying
Forrest
that would be I don't care.
Yeah, it'd be dude, nobody cares about our trophies anyway. Nobody's even watching us. Where now it's you putting up big boy numbers, and you're having you're sold out arenas.
Yeah,
Honda Center sold out.
Seriously,
dude, with Forrest, bro, you're you got him and some others, and where I think the future of Christian music is going to go. It's dude, this is the right time to have the conversation, but then also start to framework it in a way that it is holy and righteous and and God honoring in the areas that maybe aren't. So Any last thoughts before we land the plane?
I mean, maybe we're already past it, but I was thinking as we're talking.
Can you grab the mic real quick? Just grab it. Yeah.
Can you hold it?
Bring it closer.
Hey, yeah. But I was thinking that Paul the Apostle does give praise in the scriptures to some individuals, whether or not that equates to awards. It is there. Right. He recognizes Epaphras for his selflessness, for his faithfulness. Perhaps one of the highest praises he gives an individual when he talks about Timothy, I have no one else like-minded who will sincerely care for your state. So I do think we see some of these things that you guys brought it up already earlier, right? One day when we get to heaven, the Lord will reward us with a crown, which we will in turn give back to him. So I do think that, maybe I'm hesitant to land myself. I think I can hold both things to be true at the same time. Hey, I'm cool with what Forrest Frank is doing because I think he's working through his convictions. At the same time, I don't condemn Dove Awards or receiving awards. Like, rather than, I think maybe for me, maybe what I'm processing.
It's very pastoral of you.
It's like what we said at the beginning.
Very
like,
nuanced.
Do I need to land and take a side and take a position? I just, for me, that just starts to get a little.
For sure.
My favorite thing to say is, you end it where you go, some friends are for Forrest. Some friends are against Forrest. As for me, I'm for my friends.
There you go. There you go, Sammy. That's a good little politically correct
Thank you.
version of saying it. I love how he's processing. I just don't think everything needs to be processed online, but I think he is conscious with what he's doing.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think. Maybe he's not aware of how divisive it was of what he posted, because the comment section is crazy and it's got so much views and everybody's talking about it, and maybe he didn't intend for it to hit, but also between the past couple things, he's aware that he's putting up numbers in terms of views and influence and all that. And so I think what he's doing is very conscious.
Yeah.
I don't think he's sitting in bed right now going like, dang, I shouldn't have posted that video. I didn't know it was going to cost so much.
No,
now,
he knew,
maybe now you got big time voices like a Jelly Roll and others. You got that might cause him to go, oh shoot, I didn't know that was gonna, and maybe that'll question his salt and light approach and stuff like that. But overall, I think he's aware of what he did. For me, if I was, advising him, I would have said, it's probably not the language, the way that you said it is probably not the way that I would have said it.
For sure.
If you didn't want to cause this much drama.
Right.
If you meant to cause it, then you did.
Then great.
You did good, bro. You did good.
You killed it. Bro.
If you wanted to stab people and make them really feel like if you feel like there is a huge love of self in the Christian music industry and 90% of all of them are doing it for self, then what you did was the right thing to do in terms of you're causing a little bit of a mic. But also I'd say if that's the case, then just be more transparent with that. Just you're an indie artist. So you don't need the Christian music industry for your influence. So if you feel like majority of the industry is self-serving, then just go in and be like, I don't want to be part of something that majority people are worshiping themselves, because I've been in there. I've seen how the sausage was made. Until things change over there, I don't want nothing to do with it. I mean, do that. And I'd be like, I'd advise him on that as his path. Like, if you're gonna go to war, then go to war and just be clear so that it's not so divisive. Because right now it's a little more divisive
it's a little,
than it is just just
clear.
It's like ethereal, and he's still deciding. And like you
I'd
said,
be like, bro, call it out.
Just
man.
be like,
hey,
I'm not doing it.
Out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also we got to know that is there unfortunate things in toxic or whatever word we want to use that's happening in industries? For sure. But all the people that are listening
that's always
to it,
going to exist. Yeah.
Yeah. All the people that are listening to it, a majority probably aren't that way. So just change it from the inside out. So again, we love Forrest. We love that. I love that he's processing.
I'm gonna drive home today with my sons and listen to his music.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But I ain't gonna receive an award.
Yeah.
I'm about to have a
See, there you go. Those are hits, bro.
Yeah.
My sons know every song.
100%.
He's killing it.
He's killing it.
He is.
That's why I'm like, bro, go do
music.
every show and let them know. But I get it. Everyone's everyone's personal conviction is different.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's trying to learn how to steward all that's coming his way at one time.
Who's he gonna talk to?
Because it keeps changing, though. It keeps changing. It was like a platform, then it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you change
who's
in every
he gonna
transition?
talk to who's walked that road?
Lecrae got big, and then he was by himself in that area, right? So it's like it just keeps evolving.
Yeah.
Keeps getting big.
Bigger
and bigger.
He was
like,
the first to make Christian hip hop mainstream.
Yeah. And now he's at he's able to help Miles. In a sense, because he kind of went
where Forrest is crazy.
He's beyond any Christian artist has ever, at least from my awareness.
I think so too. I think same. Yeah. Because you got Christians in mainstream bands, but then he's at
and
a
they
spot.
maybe have had Lecrae's maybe had one song or whatever.
But Forrest is
got he's got 8 songs that are on the radio, different radios.
The whole album be bopping.
Everybody's playing his stuff.
Seriously.
Yeah. All right, y'all. hopefully you enjoyed this conversation. Sammy just wants to reiterate one more time that he loves Forrest music and that
I love his music. I don't listen to it that much, but I do love it, and I love him.
You still got little ones. Like when they're ready to want music,
yeah,
then that's you're gonna put on Forrest.
100%.
That's half of his concerts are kids 7 to 14, so that for my sons it's like it's they want to listen to music, so that's what we're gonna play.
Doing the dance moves, all that.
Snoop Dogg has a kids album called Doggyland.
Yeah, and he has a kid's bedtime story too.
Yeah, he's so good. If you haven't listened to Doggyland, it's actually fire.
Is it really?
It's actually really fire. It's all kid song, but like hip hop beats.
Hip hop album.
It's actually
I've never heard that.
It's actually dope.
Let's see,
just
what's
check
it
it
called?
out.
Well, we might get. I don't think we'll get. I can play. I think I can play.
Do we need to play?
It's called Doggyland, but like look at
I think I can play
affirmation
up
song.
to like three seconds of
Affirmation.
it.
Affirmation song is his top one.
Affirmation.
He made it because his
song,
grandkids
Doggy.
weren't listening to any of his stuff, so he made it for his grandkids.
Okay, let's see.
Interesting.
Listen to Affirmation song.
Affirmations are positive statements that help us to challenge and overcome.
All right. Before we get
right.
copyrighted.
Oh man.
Before
It's
the
great.
Capitol Records
His
or whoever
voice is
comes to
just
take
the
us.
dopest.
It's so sick.
He got the
smooth and soft.
dopest rap voice ever.
And then
So
he
could do
says like
everything.
positive statements. I believe in myself. All the kids are like, I believe in
Hey,
myself.
we should get him to read the Bible. Like that would be great. His voice, I would have
He
that.
might have something like that.
Like,
To be
bro, to
honest,
read the-
Snoop's
like,
in every
he
area.
might have read
that.
something like that.
Read
already.
the NLT or the, you know what I mean, ESV. That'd be.
He might have did
Like the
something
new
like that.
the new Morgan Freeman voice. That's what you want. His
No,
voice.
yeah.
He's been holding these like church pop-ups.
He has.
and
Has a gospel.
kind of like how
Snoop?
Kanye did. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I don't want to give their name, but
Okay.
someone we know
Name-
did worship
no.
for his mom that just passed not too long ago,
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then he leads worship at some of the pop-ups that he does. He says they're
Okay.
legitimate. He's like, yeah, they're really legit church services. So anyways, all right, y'all. Peace out. God
Affirmation.
bless you. Affirmation song.
Affirmation.